In the last few years, I have beaten this game with a myriad of restrictions. Cram cannon only, missile only, space only, just to name a few. But today, we're going to be trying this with a weapon I am not all that familiar with as a main weapon, because I personally don't think it does very well in the end game. That is, of course, the humble yet very shiny laser system. Now, lasers have been majorly overhauled in one of the recent patches because now they deal fire damage. They set fire to things when they destroy blocks, and they go off the flame resistance and the flammability of targets rather than their armor value, which means they now act completely differently. On top of that, smoke defense, which before just so hard countered lasers in the end game, it basically tickled enemies, have been nerfed at the cost of the base damage of the lasers themselves. I'm hoping today I can prove to myself more than anything that lasers can be a main weapon and not just a secondary weapon to do a little bit of extra damage. So let's have a quick chat about lasers and then get right into the action. This is going to be a weird one for me. Lasers have not been my favourite for many years. I've played this game for way too long. So a really quick overview then of the lasers, because we're going to be mentioning all of this a lot throughout the run. Ultimately, lasers are not the most customizable weapon type, but the customizations you make to them massively change how they're used throughout the game. First of all, we have three types of firing pieces: the regular, the short range, which has a short range but does bonus damage, and then the anti-munition defense. This will turn your laser damage into the ability to simply stop cram cannons, missiles, and even slower advanced cannon shells. We're going to be using the anti-munition defense and the regular a lot throughout this run. The short range won't really come into play too much. I'll try and use it in the early game, but I am planning a land adventure soon in which I will be using this a lot. How the laser gets its power is pretty straightforward. You can build cavities of different types, which will hold energy, and then pumps, which will take the energy from the engines and put them in the cavities. The more energy you have, the more damage you deal per shot until the energy is all used up. If you want a lot of consistent damage, then you go with the smaller cavities with more of the pumps. If you want more burst damage, which I am very guilty of using way too much of, then you go with the larger cavities, which take way too long to fully charge up, but then let you deal way more damage per shot. This just makes the alpha strike at the very start of a fight a lot more deadly at the cost of far less damage per second overall throughout the fight. Next up is the Q switch, which dictates how fast the weapon fires. At 0 Q switches, you fire 40 times per second as a continuous laser like this, and then at 1 Q switch, you fire once every second instead. Now, the reason why you'd want to do this is because you get more damage per energy if you have at least 1 Q switch. It also means per shot. That's a lot of damage. As you can see, it instantly broke that wooden piece. It just makes the damage a lot more precise. If you have 4 Q switches, it fires 8 times per second, still getting that extra damage per energy boost of 1 damage per energy, whereas continuous is only 0.75. I still prefer continuous, however, because I just think it looks so much better and is way more satisfying to use. So I'll probably be using this for most of the game. Probably shouldn't, but probably will. At 0 Q switches, you also do more damage versus more fire-resistant targets because a continuous laser has a natural intensity of 60, whereas if you have a Q switch, it's 40. Does this make up for the lack of efficiency? Probably not, but it is something to consider. The last two things are just the superheating modulator, which removes damage but makes the fires more deadly when they actually break blocks, and then you have the laser output regulator, so you can decide on how much energy is being shot per shot. I will be using these and probably not talking about them too much throughout the run, because I'll be turning them on and off constantly, knowing me. And that is pretty much it. Now, personally, I do love the fire versions, because fire is just always fun, but I probably won't be using it too much, especially in the later game, because wooden enemies become so less frequent. And that's pretty much everything you need to know for things I'm going to be mentioning over and over and over again throughout this run. So thank you so much for listening to all that waffle, and now into the action itself. And so begins our shiny adventure in our less than shiny raft. So then straight away, let's take a look-see at the weapon we're going to be using today, the laser systems. So firstly, the main thing we could instantly start customizing is if we want to use this as a defensive weapon or an offensive weapon. If we use it as a defensive tool, then we have the anti-munition defenses. These can be either with the combiners or with these nodes that can shoot down cram, advanced cannons and missiles, and of course we can then use it offensively with the laser combiner and the short range combiner, both of which just fires a laser directly at the enemy's face. So quickly of all the rest, because we'll talk about it more later on, we have the superheating modulator, which allows the fires set from the laser to be more devastating at the cost of less raw damage output. We have the Q switches, which modulates how fast the laser will pulse. More of them means faster pulses, none of them means a continuous laser. We have the different storage cavities. These will hold the power for the laser to use, and basically more power equals more damage. Things like the storage cavity can't actually be fed into from the engines, but can store massive amounts of energy, allowing you to have loads of burst damage at the cost of a bit less sustained damage, whereas the regular tiny cavities are the opposite. They hold very little energy, but can accept loads of pumps and thus loads of power from the engines, meaning your consistent damage is significantly improved. We have the destabilizers, which is how much damage, so how much energy the laser will use per second, and then the frequency doublers, which... Actually, I'm not sure exactly how it uses now things have been changed, because lasers are now fire damage, they don't go off armor value, they go off the fire resistance of the enemy, so I'm assuming they will affect the intensity of the laser, not the armor penetration. It's been a while, yeah, the intensity. So that's pretty much the very basics. We'll be talking about them more as we get to them, because, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So... I would like to build, at the moment, kind of a weird tower, which I know sounds weird because it is, because what I want to do is make sure my laser can hit things at a decent range, and I just want to sit here, plinking away enemies while I get all of the basic resources devoured. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do to end with. Am I going to be an aircraft, a proper ship, or what during this video? But, to begin with, we are just going to be a nice and simple, tiny little ship. And that's going to be the initial design anyway. Nice and made of wood, super cheap, so I can spam loads and loads and loads of blocks. Now, as for weapons, so with our laser to begin with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into mostly storage, so lots of the storage cavities. That way we can do a good bit of burst damage to begin with. The starter small targets in this difficulty, one shot to specific locations, and the fight's over. Later on, we'll be a lot more consistent, but for now, the single input cavities and the storage cavities are going to be my very bestest friends. But first, just a basic shape so I can actually float and move without constantly being rocked around everywhere. As I said that, my throat suddenly collapsed, so I'm sure that's a very good omen. I may not make the most intricate designs, yet even I spend way too much time on the first design. Now, thankfully, the first enemy you face is almost always not very scary in difficulty 0. Eventually, you do see things like the scrappers and the wanders and stuff like that, which do have weapons which can end your day. But that little thing over there is hardly even moving towards us, so it's not really too bad that I spent too much time. So this is the one which decreases damage lost over distance. I'll just spam that as much as possible. Lovely. There we go. Oh. And it's gone. I must have hit something vital. So fantastic. Did 1,000 damage, caused some fires by breaking some blocks. That's it. So this is a temporary laser system. It's just loads of the single input cavities and then loads of the storage cavities. It has almost no sustained damage, but it'll do a lot of damage per shot. Actually, I'm tempted to add some destabilizers to increase how much damage I use per shot. Okay, so currently it's going to use... Well, it's going to do 7,000 damage in the next shot. If I add another one of these, how does that change? It's now 10,000, but it's going to use up more energy in the next shot. That's the thing. Cavity energy used per shot, 10,000. Now 12,000, that's all that does. So sure, let's have it like that. So this just fires a very nasty single shot, which hopefully will be enough to destabilize the first enemies as I take over this resource zone completely. Then I'll make something more permanent. It's not the most intricate design like I already said, but I kind of like it. Nice and simple. Let's start building some superstructure, then we can build a proper laser turret which is protected, then I'll start working on the innards and the movement. Okay, so we've left the resource zone, some basic stabilizers, we have 2 back propellers for our turning, which I think I'll leave for the time being. It's a bit slower on turning, but nice and efficient forwards and backwards, and we can actually now make a proper turret cap. So what I'm going to do, and I've seen this plenty of times, is I'm going to make a 2-turret weapon. Well, at least 2, probably going to be 3 or 4. And how this is going to work is, with all the turrets attached to each other, it's going to mean it can turn around incredibly quickly, and in my opinion, it's going to look really, really cool. If it does indeed work. Yep, there we go. So the turret on the side can move up and down, the turret on the bottom is just going left and right, and that's all we really wanted. And I've set the laser to continuous because continuous lasers just make me happy inside. 11k damage, increasing rapidly. Yeah, being close, the damage is much better. So I want that, but I want 2 sets of them. Although, this looks a bit spindly. Though I guess this is before we've added in any armor to it, so it doesn't really matter too much. Though I could go all out and have... That looks a bit weird. We could make the base one the 5 meter, then the side one's the 3 meter. It's also going to add a lot of extra health to these moving sections. This thing only has 800, that has 7,200, that has 20,000. Would be more expensive, but if I'm going to have just one major turret for the time being, that probably is worth it. That was beautiful. Okay, so this is the type of turret I want to build then. It's got 3 turrets all in one essentially, and it's going to be incredibly quick and responsive. Wow, that is quicker and more responsive than I expected actually. Wow. So you aim somewhere, it's instantly hitting. That is beautiful. So that's what I want to do. So it's a 5 meter turret on the bottom, only 1 meters on the side because it's going to be easier to build with. So I kind of went with a hybrid of the 2 choices I was talking about. Oh good, and there's a red portal. I'm going to sit at that resource zone though, just until I've got enough resource to make a proper turret cap, and then we're going to go through the next portal. I am building this a bit low though. At the moment, this is going to start clipping and hitting myself if I try and fire down even slightly. Yeah, this needs to be a little bit higher at least, otherwise I can't even armor up the turret cap, which wouldn't be great. I mean, technically I could, because here's the problem. When you build with a turret on another turret, suddenly it doesn't understand collision boxes. So let's say I just build like this. So you'd think if I tried to aim up, this piece of wood would hit this piece of wood. Nope, it goes right through the graft. You can be really cheesy with that, and I will try and avoid that as best I can. Okay, I think I'm reasonably happy with this turret. We're currently in difficulty 5 now, so I'm just waiting for the next enemy. I've now set up the laser to fire with a single Q switch, which means it's 1 shot every second, so pretty much the slowest you can fire, but more damage per shot. And I've made sure that it uses up pretty much all the energy in the system. Essentially, we have 1 good shot in us, and then our sustain is much, much lower. That'll be changed later. So this is the kind of style I want to go with, so a lot of dark colours and then bright blues and purples. I want it to look sci-fi-ish, which isn't a style I'm very good at, so expect a lot of changes throughout the video. Also, I'm now realising I didn't paint half of this because I'm a dum-dum. And dark for you, there we go, all is good. Just need to wait for the first enemy now. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, just here to say a massive thank you for the patience everyone's been showing for this video. I know it's been a majorly delayed video, in fact it's almost 2 months by the time this will eventually come out, and I do apologise for that. It has been a rough couple of months for me, a family member in critical condition, in addition to a whole host of other things. It's been very difficult to get any time at all to record. Thankfully, things are looking better now, and this video was such a nice welcome back. It was so fun to record, and I have learned so much about lasers. It was an absolute joy to both record and edit, so I really do hope you enjoy. And of course, if you do, likes, comments, and everything else help out so much now that I have returned to making videos. Sadly, the algorithm did notice I suddenly vanished and yelled at me quite a lot. So you know, likes appease the algorithm god, the scary god who watches over everything. Also, should be back to making videos normally now in the next month or so, so expect the full playthroughs to be once or twice a month, rather than once every couple of months. It is good to be back. That is not a very scary enemy. I swear, the earlier difficulties used to be scarier than they are currently, which I think is a good thing. I think it's good it's been changed, because they used to be just so brutal. A lot of new players were complaining that you have to get instantly killed. But at the same time, testing can be difficult when things are this small. But still, there we go, lots of... Wow, that laser must have gone through quite a lot, actually. It set multiple fires. There we go, now the gun's on fire, the barrel's been damaged, so I don't really think I'm in danger at all. Let's just go towards it so we can collect the resource. No need to keep wasting our energy, considering it is now burning away. And not really able to fight back. Normally I'm not a massive fan of using the adventure bell because it tends to spawn duo fights and everything else because it's not really going off the normal spawn timers, but I'm getting very bored. So, one more enemy before we go. What I wanted was enough resource to change to light alloy, but I'll settle for just a good fight. That's a melee craft, I believe. Okay, that initial burst pretty much took it out. Well, I'll summon another enemy before we go. But yeah, what I would like is for us to have enough resource to change all the wooden armor into alloy armor so that I can do some painting and everything else to go with the blue, purple, and black scheme. Dark grey, black? Not sure which one I want. Either way, dark colours. Can I just take a moment to say how good the designs are in From the Depths? Seriously, just look at this thing, look at all the little details and how cool this looks. So this is the smoker. It's not a particularly scary looking thing, but these missiles really, really pack a punch. Now it's kind of all they have, so if I just go like this, that inaccuracy is really bad. Now admittedly it is very, very far away, but let's have a quick look see at our weapon. Why is it so inaccurate, or is that just how lasers are? Ah, it's the inaccuracy from instability, so me moving around is making this far worse. Now it's at inaccuracy 0.05. If I start moving around, 0.13, which is way, way too bad for that range. Okay. Good to know. Unless I am a completely stable craft, which currently I'm not, don't move and fire. Move or fire. So now, in theory, much better. Okay. Lesson learned. Instability is really severe for lasers. I did not know that. I'm sure I saw another enemy signature. Am I going crazy? Yes, I am. Good to know. So here's something I've never tested out. This is the short-range laser combiner. So this thing has a maximum range, but the shorter you set the maximum range, the more damage multiplier you add. Interesting. It's also got a load of inaccuracy, but I guess at super short ranges that shouldn't really matter too much. So let's have a quick test of that. I just want to see what the damage is really like. I imagine it's absolutely brutal if we're actually close enough. Yeah. Okay, that was a lot of damage. That just instantly went straight through the craft. Good to know. That thing, potentially, could be a build alternative. So the next enemy is an Onyx Watch Broadsider. Okay, we're now in range. It wants the broadside. I want to get a bit closer so we can do more damage per shot. About the same cost as us. Lovely. Lasers versus Cram. I guess I'll go for the back section there, see if there's anything vital. I should have gone for the guns, now I'm thinking about it. Ow. My butt. Damage per second way lower than the enemy. Just hoping to get some disconnect to these shots more than anything else. What if I take out its sails? Okay. With the sails burned, the enemy can no longer move. Without it being able to move, we can now position ourselves behind it nice and safely. Oh, that looks like an engine, perhaps? No, I thought it was a radiator. Well, actually, it is good. Oh, it's a table. It's, oh, cool. Lots of mimics. A local weapon controller there, so I think I'm taking out the connection points for the guns. Wish I could see more what's actually happening, but sadly with all the mimic work there, I can't really see anything. Oh yeah, I'm taking out each of the guns. And that's the last of the sails gone. It's just a matter of slowly killing the thing now. Does it have any propellers underneath? Yes, a couple of tiny little ones. It is technically underwater, but only just about, so the damage negation will be fairly minimal. Well, it wasn't the finest showing for the laser, but it definitely worked. Okay, that should be enough, I think, now to change all of our wooden armor into light alloy. After that, we need better engines and that's it really. Once we have better engines, we can add more pumps to our laser system. Our laser system is not that expensive. We're currently 45k total. And I think the weapon's about 20k. That last enemy was 50. So we are kind of in the right region. Any red portals nearby? No, I think I'll go and sit at the resource zone. Not for too long though, while I retrofit everything and start building some new stuff. Okay, and that's it. So now all of our wooden blocks have been turned into alloy blocks. We're now more buoyant than we used to be, a little bit lighter, and we have heavier armor. I think all of those things are true, right? White 10, white 5, armor 35 versus 8, yep, and also more health. And it is more buoyant, plus 32 versus plus 27. We're a bit more bouncy because of that, though. We need a more aggressive PID, I think. Oh, we are faster, though, yep, because we are now significantly lighter. The only real advantage Wood has is its EMP resistance, and I guess also incredibly cheap. Ooh, we are arguably too light. I never use it for that, but I really should. There we go, just painted the entire craft in one. You can hardly see it, because now the skies and the water are the exact same colour. Well, I'll be adding some blues and purples anyway in a second. Fire is just so cool. Also, if you can hear barking, I do apologise. My little puppy is still getting used to being on her own while I record, and every time I talk, she gets very, very annoyed. Okay, I've just added some regular laser cavities and a couple of the single input cavities to increase the rate that we drain from our engine power. Next, I need more engine power, then I obviously need to make the craft bigger, because currently this is kind of just pressing on the side with very little armouring. I do this every time, put these the wrong way around. There we go. Bit more of a keel, a little propeller at the bottom, which is now helping to control our altitude. We now have a stronger, well, a more consistent laser more than anything else, and a tiny bit more engine power. We are currently still being charged with just RTGs, which is a lot of our cost, honestly. We could be a lot bigger if we were going with fuel or something else, but then we'd also have to be constantly churning materials into that, which I'm not really ready for just yet. Eventually, we're almost definitely either going to have to rely almost completely on fuel or steam, because we are going to need some ridiculously strong engine power by the end. And it's just way smaller than all of the RTGs. I mean, look at that. That's not that massive, and this thing is producing 124,000 engine power. Yeah. We're going to go to steam, and we're probably just going to use the prefabs, because steam engines are the one thing I would say in this game I just don't enjoy messing around with. Fuel engines, yeah, I'll make custom ones all day. Steam engines, I always get muddled up with them. There's something about them that just don't click in my tiny little angry brain. I almost missed that. There's an enemy in the distance there. The first enemy of 15 looks like it's going to try and get close quarters. I'm going to hold fire for a second. Ooh, it's struggling with the terrible weather. Is it a hydrofoil just getting... Yeah, it's a hydrofoil getting stuck in the waves. Let's help it, shall we? Probably should have fired a bit higher, because it's going to put out all those fires I just made. Those beautiful, beautiful fires. 60k damage done very quickly there, and... Yeah, loving the slightly more consistent damage of our laser now. It's still not great, but still. What even is this thing? The Volta, and oh, we've decimated its laser system. So this was a laser craft, and I'm assuming it's using short-range laser? No, then why didn't it fire? I'm gonna hold fire for a second. Is this thing ever gonna attack, or have I completely nullified it? I guess it just has a minimum range. I thought it'd be using the actual short-range laser sections, though. And then by the time it got to me, I'd already mangled its laser system, so range wins the day. Okay, another friend lets us stop still, so we're a bit more accurate. I've been working on the PID, but I swear at the moment I cannot stop the pitch from rocking so much. The weather's been awful. It's only just cleared up again. Go for there. Kind of see where the shots are coming from, so I assume we're going to hit the barrel at least a couple of times with this. It's not quite in range of us, so I imagine we're losing quite a bit of damage from range. And now we get a little bit closer. I don't want to hyper zoom in every single time before I at least fire a little bit, because that can get a little bit boring. So I was hitting the right spot. for the most part, and... oh, what a cool little thing. Almost costs as much as us, but tiny. Yeah, looks like we've got this, though. The armor's been stripped back, the weapon itself is now being hit repeatedly. I doubt we're going to lose this one. Well, originally I wanted to stay as a battleship the entire time, but I am honestly tempted to turn ourselves into a hovercraft. Or at least some kind of hybrid. It'd be a lot easier to be a lot more stable. The laser seems to be not the most accurate weapon even at the best of times, and with the weather being hit and miss, even though I am going west as much as possible, where apparently the weather should be more stable than towards the east, well, the weather seems to hate me anyway. Yep, we're sort of taking out his weapons. I'm also not seeing little missiles that are shooting to begin with, so let's get nice and close and then finish off. Ah, there's a gun at the back as well. We had enough charging time, we just melt that. Plus now we're closer as well, as you can see. We're at almost full damage. It's a lot scarier. Stop moving! Okay, so I've just installed 2 of the superheating modulators. So what these do is make the fire 2.5 times stronger, or at least 2.5 times the amount of fuel, so that's basically how much damage they deal. But it seems to cut the damage by about 1/4 of the laser itself. Very keen to see how that works. Okay, I'll say this is probably close enough. Let's just stop still so we're a little bit more accurate. I'm just going to go straight for the core. Oh, it's a river home. Cool. Oh, that fire damage is stacking up quickly though. Look at that. 4k, 5k, 6k. In theory, that should really be causing some serious damage. Okay, let's leave it. So 70k laser damage there, and let's see how high the fires climb. 60k, about at 70k. Well, against wooden targets, certainly it looks like the fires are really nasty. I think I might be under attack from something else, because I just heard a splish very loudly. Oh, yep. A second target. I guess we leave this first target. The fires are definitely finishing off at this point, at very least making it so it can't fight back. Okay, so there's access to its little missiles, but as we get further away, those won't be able to reach us because they have no propulsion. I think they're just smart rockets. Look at them gliding. That's actually going to hurt a load, but still. Bye! Okay, against wooden targets, I concede the fire is amazing. Even if it does take ages. As it just slowly melts away behind us. As long as we keep on moving weirdly, it can't really hit us. Let's go straight for the core, I suppose. Oh, I instantly saw a misfire then from the cram. I think that first shot immediately stopped it. At least one of them. There were many more shells than that before. Ow. The catapult. Well, that's very expensive. Yeah, fires didn't really do so much against the metal target here, but let's just keep going for the core then. Yep, that was it. No real need to zoom in to understand where to fire on this thing. Yeah, now we're seeing the problem with the fires. If we're just hitting metal, it's not really doing that much. But yay for the laser itself. Okay, you stay there. There's another target again. I'm going to stay still as well, actually. Let's just recharge our batteries. That looks quick. Okay, as soon as I can fire at this thing, we will. Really, in my eyes, what fire is the best at, other than just obliterating wooden targets, oh, that was beautiful, is when you crack the enemy's armor. As soon as you hit any of the vitals inside, the fire damage is very likely to remove the entire cavity, which lasers normally aren't the best at, so it definitely adds a benefit. So what I'm thinking is, in the future, once we have a lot more weapons than just this one single turret, is I'm probably going to have a smaller weapon which uses the superheating modulator, and then the main weapon is just pure damage. That way we're spreading fires inside the much larger targets, causing that damage to all the surrounding subsystems, while still being able to break through the armor nice and easily. Because I am noticing the damage is noticeably weaker right now with this installed. I'm still going to use it for a while, and we are about to go to the next difficulty, but yeah, I think just bulk damage is probably best. Oh my god, that got crushed! Now, the reason why I'd stopped anyway is because I kind of forgot the catapult existed, so I was waiting around letting my energy regen while also eventually taking this thing out for some resources. So another problem with fire is just the water line. So unlike weapons like missiles and advanced cannons, I can't add oxidizer to a laser shot, which means I can't make the fire burn underwater at all, because oxidizer actually allows that a little bit. So any ship like this, suddenly fire is a lot more restrictive. And also that last fight really showcased something. I definitely need to add more, where are you, laser optics. They remove damage lost with distance. As you can see, when things are very close, this laser is very nasty. At long range, it struggles a bit. But I don't want to make it too big because then it just looks kind of silly. Let's see, okay, so this one now at 4,000 meters, it's at 71% damage. This other one is at only 56. Okay, that's actually a substantial difference. Although it does lower the firing arc. Still though, long range, that doesn't really matter too much. Fine. I'll make it bigger. For once I just rang the bell immediately after entering the new difficulty. And although that is quite a scary enemy, I doubt it can fire... Ooh, I was about to say at this range, and then instantly I was proven wrong. It's also a lot smaller than I thought it was. Cheaper than us by a fair margin at this point. We are now 80,000. I swear for a second the fire just said minus damage, but I think I might be going crazy. So we're still set up to do fire damage. Thankfully, a lot of this craft is above the water, so if we can just set some nasty fires there, we should cause some big problems. Who'd have thought fires cause problems and water puts out fire? You are learning a lot today in this episode. You are welcome. Who needs school when you have Lathrix? Thank you for being made partially out of wood. You make my day better. Not really firing too much anymore, so I'm assuming I've took out a lot of the guns. So once again, not going to waste power, can get nice and close. Although now we are at 4,000 meters, 71% damage. Here's a question. Does this make it worse or better? Interesting. So these also make it do more damage underwater. Guess who didn't know that until literally this second? But here's the problem, and hear me out. I do not like how these look. Actually, I do. I really like how they look when they're small. Small laser optics, small laser barrels, I think look really neat. But the longer ones look a bit doofy, in my opinion. Of course, I could just mimic them out, or I could just armor them up around the outside, and I guess that's probably the end goal. The turrets are going to be a lot bigger than this, so we can just have armor around the entire barrel, which would be able to hide it, and we'd still be able to have the longer barrels. But even then, I don't like the look of particularly long barrels in this game, even when they've been armoured up and all designed. Ooh, that thing's firing a lot of flares. Oh, that's the anti-air ship, isn't it? It's got like lasers at the back that can only hit, I think, munition and flyers. So, not too scared, they just have a front weapon as well. I think it's called the glaive. I want to say it's called the glaive. I could be wrong that it's called the glaive. It's not even the one I thought it was. On the upside, the Outlaw, despite being a 100k resource, so a bit more expensive than us, is also completely made out of wood, so I'm just going to hide behind this wave and fire. Yes, I'm doing less damage, but also it's on fire and attacking the other thing, so I have all the time to wait. I do love fire damage. I just don't think it's the best on lasers. On missiles, it's my absolute favourite thing at the moment. Oh, what's happened? I'm thinking the fire actually worked its way to something. Okay, so also, fire does more damage if the enemy is moving, as in, the faster it moves, the more the fires get stoked by the wind. I'm not sure if that's more damage overall or just faster damage, but that thing literally was just flying somehow. Also, it's not really firing at me. What did happen? Never mind. Never mind. Lathrix was wrong. Who would have thought? I don't want to keep firing through the waves. We need to be higher up. If we don't end up being a hovercraft, we at least need our weapons to be mounted higher, because this is silly. The ocean is blood now. I just lost a barrel. Ooh, what? No. No, we are still firing. I was about to say we're not even firing, but no, we are firing. This wasn't aiming properly. Come on, fire. Carry us through. I've said only good things about you. Okay, genuinely, this is the first time I'm properly worried in this run so far. That cannon could potentially take us out. I know I'm getting closer, which means it's higher chance of hitting me, but I'm also doing more damage. I'm out of energy after all the fights. Oh, I think the cram just misfired. I think we've managed to take out the turret. Okay, half. We've half taken out the turret. Stop going underwater. You're a big blob of wood. Float. No idea where those missiles are coming from. But where is it? Is it these on the side? Those are just meant to be ports. I think they might just be mimics because I'm not damaging them. You know what? Can we just take off that entire top section? Because it's really being balanced on just like 2 or 3 planks at the moment. You look so pretty when you're on fire. You know what? I need to look where those missiles are coming from because it's going to drive me mad otherwise. Is that it there? It looked like they were firing directly upwards though, so I thought it was going to be a silo somewhere else is missing. Yeah, you guys just chill. Ooh, I love how it's on the bottles. Neat. No, the missile silo was somewhere over here. I just saw it exit the hull. I was looking way too far back. Can I completely lobotomize this? It would be fun if I could. There we go. Lasers, the new lobotomy. That took way too long. Yeah, so hull increase first. I'd like a little bit more resource than that, actually. Okay, I'm gonna go looking for a resource zone, so I'd like a proper upgrade. And then we need the hull increase, and we need better engines. Simple as that. I think I might already have to move over to steam or fuel or something, because it's just not enough. We're not feeding the laser system we already have. Okay, that thing's accuracy seems to be even worse than mine. Oh, is that the Atlas? Oh my god, that first shot though. Well. Goodbye to your entire front gun and hello to a world of flame. What a beautiful shot, the people think. Who needs resource zones when you keep getting attacked by wooden targets when you're building around fire? So this is another outlaw. But it's out of range of its missiles, and for some reason it's refusing to face me directly, which means it can't use its main gun. So I think we probably have already won. Look how much fire damage we've done. Yeah, I'll keep on going for the core. I'll start moving towards it now. And yeah, that's enough resource that we can build a new hull. I don't want to get too much extra resource other than this. We are already now a bit expensive at difficulty 20, so I am going to jump into the sandbox to extend our hull. Since there's no blue portals around or anything. In fact, there's no portals at all, so we are going to be here for a bit longer. I don't want to be here for too much longer. I just recorded for a good 30 minutes without the microphone on. So let's just recap what I was waffling on about for 30 minutes. So, I've added some weird armor to the front. It's not the final design, but I want some more weird designs this time around. Secondly, I'm going to be making the craft bigger than I expected because I'm going to be removing some of the RTGs and swapping over to a fuel engine already. The steam engines are my goal for the very end game. Right now, I want at least a couple of fuel engines. These will be turned off until we really need them, which means the RTGs I have left are going to give us the regular movement, and then the fuel engines will kick in when I'm using the laser and everything else to give enough power that we can actually use the lasers, which would be a nice change. Other than that, it's just a lot more buoyancy stuff, a lot more stability. I've decided I'm not going to be a hovercraft or a flyer this time because I end up as one of those almost every single run. Will I add some hydrofoils? Maybe a little bit in the future, but probably won't be breaking the surface of the water too much. Not sure about the design I currently have. It kind of makes me think of an electric razor, but I do also kind of like it because it looks edgy and maybe 13-year-old me would think this was very cool. And you've got to keep that part of your brain alive. Okay, the bodywork I like. I'm not entirely sure on the colour scheme just yet, so don't take this as a permanent, but I do kind of like the dark grey with the blues everywhere, so I'm thinking this will probably be similar to how it ends up. Now, as for the weapon, I'm not going to have the turret like I had before, and by the way, this is the prefab. Turns out is really similar to my one before, so I could have just gone with this, and no one would have noticed. Would have saved me a lot of hassle. But anyway, we're just going with a single turret for now. I'm going to push this a little bit further down, armor it up with some heavy armor, and then I can make it nice and flush with the bodywork, and I think that'll be very, very, very well protected. We will lose some of the arc of fire, but in return, super well protected. Hopefully we won't get knocked down by the first missile to hit us. Going to make the laser systems a lot neater now. Before they were kind of strewn around everywhere. Instead we're going to have the big block in the middle, probably going back to here as well, and then lots of armor and EMP protection. Finally back in the regular mode, going to quickly make the craft itself, and then we're going to difficulty 25. We currently cost 110,000, which is a bit too expensive to be here. So the next thing I'm going to do is make it less flat on the top. I basically ran out of resources at this point, but I want more of a superstructure on top, and then the turret will sit on the very top there, and maybe I'll have some side turrets or something else. We have loads of space still on the inside, as you can see, so not going to be changing the hull for a while, except for those little increases to the very top of the craft to make it look a bit more less like an angry ironing board with sharp edges. So we have far less of the storage cavities this time, which means our burst damage is a lot lower, but in return, we have way more consistent damage. So the damage you see is going to be the damage it consistently does until the end, and that is clearly doing a lot better. Carving through metal this time. Also turned off the extra fire damage, so pure bulk damage this time around, and consistent lasers, not Q switches. Well, that was lovely. Two enemies fighting each other, so this one might be firing at me. It has some kind of, okay, it's getting very dark, some kind of mortars. So I just need to move a little bit to the left, and that'll dodge that. Let's have a quick look, see what they actually are then. I'm going to go straight for the red portal to get into difficulty 30 anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. So we have a pilferer, which is more expensive than us, which is nice to see, and an iron. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't go straight to difficulty 30 for once. Maybe I should be nice to myself. Can't see because of the darkness, but there's the pilferer. Instantly starting some fires there and causing an explosion, so we got through to something right away. Don't hold fire too long, otherwise we'll end up burning through the craft and wasting our damage. Some more speed would be nice. Definitely have the engine power for it, after all. That's the next thing, then. Add some more propellers to this thing. There's the front turret. Let's just focus on that for a second. Oh, good. Actually, no, the Cram is going for the Pilferer. That's fantastic. In that case, the Pilferer is probably going to lose this, so I should focus on the iron. Those mortars are going to do catastrophic damage if they can land, and they are landing. So, oh, yep, there we go. It's gone. So next two things, more speed, and then add an AI so I don't need to keep on targeting myself. That would be really nice. Since this weapon you have to hold down fire forever, it would be nice if it was just targeting it by itself there. Go through the water a bit. Okay, let's go at that. We'll miss a few shots, but yet without the water in the way, far more damage. So this enemy moves like that to dodge shells. Of course, it doesn't really matter too much when we're using literally light speed. Maybe shouldn't have tried to call this thing out, maybe going for the sides where the weapons were. Oh, there is a main weapon there. You can really see the inaccuracy when I'm moving around, even though I'm a fairly stable craft. I think I've stopped its guns. This will be the last enemy either way ever. 25. And now I've overshot the portal. Much better when the craft isn't moving. Well, we're not charged up, but the first enemy of difficulty 30 instantly here. Let's go for the center. Looks like it's Onyx Watch, I'd imagine. Is that the Bulwark? No, it's the Alcazar. Okay. Still, that is, like, almost 3 times as expensive as we are, so that's worrying. Okay, let's stop moving. We don't really have the resources to do this. I'm actually tempted to go through the red portal here, to be completely honest. They're saying that the cram shells probably won't be hurting us, as long as we can move around a little bit. So the question is then, do I want to get closer? The advanced cannons are clearly on the side. I can see them firing from here, so let's just aim at that. There you go, there goes one. There goes another. Well, I'm aiming at another, hopefully it'll pop as well in a second. Not quite getting as lucky as with the first. There we go, there goes both of the advanced cannons. Now, how do I want to apply this? I'll have to use my fuel engine to keep fighting this, which will cost a lot of resources. However, killing the enemy will give us a lot of resources, but it will take a very long time. It's just a lot of metal. But if we keep hitting the front, we're already breaking through a lot of the armor, so I could just aim at the front and just wear it down. Then I can get closer and be more efficient. Maybe that's the play. And that damage is stacking up, 70k, 80k. I can see fire, so clearly I'm burning through things. Well, it took a while even at close quarters, but there we go, the Alcazar has been removed. That was a really fun fight up until the point where I had to just slowly dismantle it because it just wouldn't be too damaged. It did, however, go to heaven. Am I the villain? I went a little bit crazy and added loads of storage cavities again. I just like the burst damage. Woo, that's a big old ship. First enemy difficulty 35. It kind of looks like the crossbones. Honestly, it very well might be. In which case, we definitely want it to face directly towards us and just fire at the front. It has turrets there. Fire. The small advanced cannon shots are just flak and not really a concern. I don't want to zoom in too much. It's only really those cram cannon shots which are going to be a problem. Okay, let's move. Having charge up a little bit, get a little bit closer to it. Though again, we do want it to be facing us so we don't get too close. If it broadsides, that's way too many turret caps you have to take out. I'll zoom in a second to see what damage we're actually doing. I'll see a lot of fire damage stacking up, which is nice. Okay, stop still. In fact, reverse a little bit. Let's dodge those. Lack of accuracy when we're moving is just ridiculous. Look at that, it's all over the place. Okay, let's have a look, see what kind of damage we've done already then. Almost 100,000 fire damage, so I must have destroyed some blocks. Oh, there's fires everywhere, so... yeah, we've been scorching the turret caps. Both of them are on fire. The deck itself is on fire. Okay, now we move forward again. And just keep doing what we're doing. Eventually, one of those cannons will go down. Oh, looks like there's a misfire. Okay, one of the cram cannons has been damaged. Okay, reverse again. I'm losing a lot of accuracy moving like this, but as long as it's facing us, that's all we care about. We have all the time in the world to slowly melt all that away. Well, actually we don't. We'll eventually run out of materials. But let's just pretend we have unlimited materials, shall we? Okay, that back cannon's gone. It's the front cannon that's left. Half left. It should be shooting 3 shots. It's shooting 1 and a smaller shell. See, from here it looks deadly accurate, but when you actually get to where I'm firing, I'm just going to zoom in now to show this. It is everywhere. Okay. Both main guns gone. Lots of fires everywhere. We could try and aim for the back. We could just target the superstructure. We could go for the small advanced cannons. Although the advanced cannons aren't particularly scary, they're expensive and would get them to lower health faster. Plus, they explode. It's hard to tell exactly where they are from all the way here. There, I think. Think I've got it? And surely that must have been enough of damage, right? So I guess now I should go for the back cannons to allow it to broadside so we can then start aiming for its mainframe and everything else. So many blocks are being destroyed. It's just that the crossbones is made of so many blocks. There's a cruel interview here. Okay, now we're close enough we can see exactly where we're firing. One cannon still remains, and that's enough to completely kill it. Oh, I completely forgot about the smaller ones on the side. Never mind. I mean, that one's almost gone, though. Okay, let's just keep firing on that, then. We're nice and close, so our damage is increased. Can't really dodge the crams at this range, though. We're not really nimble enough for that, but I'm sure this must be close now. There's one barrel left functioning, and I think that may have been it misfiring. So now for you. Hit the turret cap, but the turret cap survived. We are out of resources, and now we're relying completely on our RTGs, which, to be fair, isn't terrible. Still 7,000 engine power. And as we do damage, we're getting little bits of material which periodically turn the engines back on. Just about. Yeah, just didn't really have enough materials. This is why you really should have a good store of materials and don't just constantly upgrade. Ammo and fuel engines are a thing. We got very lucky here. This could have easily been the end. We've almost finished off the crossbones, and these tiny little planes are now attacking. Thankfully, they're going after the larger target, which, even though they're damaged, is the crossbones. I'm going to take this opportunity to get some distance so I can start attacking the planes themselves. Ooh, the crossbones does one gun functional. Good. See, the issue with the turret currently is we can't aim directly up, so if things are right next to us like that, we have a problem. However, if we can get far enough away, we can start picking out... Yeah, there we go. Just picking off these with the laser. That should be fine since they can't really dodge, even if we are doing reduced damage at the moment. That took almost 20 minutes of real life time to just take this to low health. Wow, that was awful. Well, that's annoying. So this ship is actually what I'm currently trying to build to counter. I'm finally adding the munition defenses because, you know, missiles are a thing and missiles are scary. Literally just adding the warners right now is about to add the defenses and that thing shows up. I think I'm just going to make a run for the portal then. I don't really want to fight this, to be completely honest. Don't know if they're going to be in range with their missiles, so... guess I'll fire some shots anyway. Do some burst damage, and then just try and go through the red portal. Saying that, if they are out of range for their missiles, we could just outrange them. Yes, they have an advanced cannon and some cram, but I doubt that's going to be the main cost of this craft. But I'm not doing too much damage at this range either. You know what? No. Red portal, that was the option. That's the play. Wow, that was close. I actually managed to take out their advanced cannon, which is nice. And we are just at their maximum range. Yeah, definitely the call. I think I'm not really ready for difficulty 40, but I don't want to be in this fight right now. Or do I? So, yeah, I've definitely taken out their advanced cannon. I saw the explosion. They have the missiles, but missiles are very expensive, and they can't keep firing forever, and I doubt they're faster than us. We're not particularly quick, but also I don't think they are either. So we could just keep kiting them and doing some damage. Where's the next red portal? Up there, so I can build up to that. I need to make a choice. I slowed down for a second and got hit. So yeah, I've decided to stay and fight. I'm just blind firing. Is that definitely that enemy that's hitting? No, it's another enemy. Darn it. Well, maybe I made a huge mistake then. Though you don't seem too big. And once again, wish I had the munition defenses already. Thankfully, it seems most of them aren't heading towards me, but still, this thing needs to be taken out, and that is smoke defense. Yeah, damage massively reduced. Still going through it, though, because of how close we are. Just going to try and core this thing out. I have no idea what I'm even fighting right now. This cute little thing. The Banshee. Oh, of course it's the Banshee. I think I'll take out the steam engine with this one. There we go. The other enemy I was just blind firing at long range, and I think I've damaged at least some of its missile systems. I'm seeing far less missiles in the air, so that's good. We are surprisingly sturdy for our size, as we've seen with the cram cannons hitting us. There's the steam engine, right? I think so. Need to be careful now. I just saw some of the other ones' missiles getting really close to hitting that enemy. I'm just gonna back up. Oh, those torps though. No, those torps are absolutely shredding us. We need to take this thing out already. No idea really where to fire. Do I fire slightly underwater and just take the damage penalty, but hopefully hit something vital? Maybe. I just saw an explosion, so I assume I just took out some ammo. I mean, really, with that, surely that's the weapon's pretty much gone, right? At least slowed down. Wonder how close the other enemy is now. Still can't see them. Their range is pretty good. There's the missiles. Surprising it's going after the smaller target, but I really shouldn't complain. Okay, gonna stay still for a second. And blind fire. Oh, fire damage already. In fact, a lot of fire damage. I'm assuming I'm hitting something internal for that much fire, because that was a metal enemy, not wood. Oh, I'm hitting everything internal. The outer arm's been stripped. Oh, I'm hitting the missiles. Well, that's brilliant. Yep, I'll just hold down fire here. It looks like I am disabling their main missile system. Good. I'm glad I stayed. That was a mess of a fight. Though I should probably start backing off. I think, yep, they're almost in range. And full speed ahead. I'm going to just about be able to dodge these missiles. Apparently I'm going to be stuck in this difficulty forever, so this is the Slasher, which costs significantly more than we do, and I'm not fully charged at the moment. Just go straight for the core, I suppose. It should hit the gun. I think I've taken out either all of the missiles, or at least most of the missiles of the first enemy. Oh, we're taking a lot of damage from their gun. We are causing fires, however, so once again, must be hitting something important. Probably should just pinpoint aim here. We have been fighting multiple enemies. As much as I do like to just blind fire more often because it's more fun, would like to not lose the game right now if possible. Okay, I'm seeing some explosion damage, so I've definitely got through, and it looks like the main gun may not be firing anymore. I'm just seeing little red shots now. Unless the red shots are the main gun, which of course is entirely possible. Nope, the main gun is literally gone. Cool. Well done to the laser. Though it looks like it's going to try and melee me. Actually, it probably isn't. It doesn't actually have proper spikes except for it's on the side. Cool. Okay, the first enemy I think is either disabled or just not fighting fully anymore. This one was actually a surprisingly easy fight. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Once I collect the resources from these two fights, I'll go to difficulty 40, we can start upgrading the craft. What I really want then is the munition defense to be set up, some AI to be set up, and to raise the laser. I also want some more engine power. Oh, I think a hull upgrade is already getting close, which is kind of a shame. I like the simplicity of this one. It's just nice. Bit flat, but nice. Well, the missile enemy's gone, and what's interesting was, it was still firing missiles from a back turret, which ended up going towards this one because this one was bigger and it also has anti-munition systems. Essentially, I was using this as a shield. Now, I just got some lag, so I think another enemy has just spawned in. Yeah. So what do we have now? And hopefully this will also go for the white flyer craft. This is the Iron Maiden. Okay. I think after this will be another Sandbox moment, because I don't want to keep on fighting forever. I'll go through the portal then, go to the Sandbox mode, to use all the resources I'm currently getting. Once again, I'm being a bit of a sneaky bugger. So, yeah, it's just attacking this craft and not me, so I have all the time in the world to just pick my targets, fire away, and hopefully do the same thing I've done to every last ship, and just disable the main weapons. Don't really need to zoom in too much to decide where to fire. The turret's all on the front there. I think it's trying to broadside, so probably some on the back as well. So I'll go for those next. I think I've taken out both of the front turrets. Maybe? A little bit of a time skip here, because that last clip was me fighting the Steel Stride and White Flyers. That fight ended up taking over 15 minutes because another small ship arrived, and I decided to just cut all that footage because it got really, really samey. So it's time to upgrade the ship again. Also, I think I'm getting sick because, of course, I get sick as soon as I start recording again. Okay, so far, added the anti-munition system, we'll be doing some tests in a second, added a better keel, because one before was just absolutely silly, it was so low in the water it was causing drag and all sorts of other problems, and I'm now adding an invisible AI system, because honestly I hate how the detection systems look, so I'm just going to be putting them all over the craft, but you're not really going to be able to see them. I don't like using mimics to this level normally, but that's what we're going to do. Also, of course, I've raised the gun a lot further off the hull itself, and I actually quite like how this craft looks. It's definitely not my usual style, but I am really happy with it, which is really nice. It's rare, you know? Okay, let's see if the munition defense works. Yes, it does. It's not the strongest munition defense ever. I've actually got a separate laser system for the main weapon and the munition defense because I just prefer doing it that way. Not really the best, but oh well, that's what I've done at the moment. And it looks like the detection system can definitely see the target. Lovely. We now cost 280,000 and I am completely out of resource to work with. In fact, I think I'm about 5,000 over what we have, so we have to strip some of the stuff I've already added on the inside. But yeah, really happy with this. So it now has a basic detection system, it has a basic munition defense, it has better armor, it has a slightly better engine, though only tiny, and of course it now has a superstructure where the main weapon's on, so we can fire a little bit higher up, which is great. Later, I would like to add a secondary weapon on this kind of fin section I've added. I want one of the double turrets again, because the main problem we have with the front weapon is it can't aim up or down very easily. This fixes that. So just think of it as an anti-air / anti-harassment kind of weapon. It's just going to go on the back, always going to be manually controlled, and it'll just be there for emergencies. And just as a backup weapon anyway. Maybe I can actually raise this a bit higher and have it about here instead. Well, we'll see when we get to it. Back to the main game. This took well over an hour and a half. Welcome to difficulty 40. We have our first enemy, the Type 19, and its adorable little drones. I'm hoping he's using anti-missile missiles, but it doesn't look like it, so we're just going to have to deal with that as it comes. For now, I'm just using the AI, which seems to be doing a pretty good job actually targeting, though the damage seems very, very poor. Is that thing using smoke? Because that is atrociously low otherwise. Oh, it's aiming below the water. I didn't tell the AI not to aim below the water. Okay, that's on me. In that case, manual fire for the time being. I need to fix that before the next fight. I didn't even consider that, honestly. He was firing through all of that water, doing pretty much no damage. You know what, let's just take these out before they get too close and annoying. There we go. Anti-munition system's active. Looks like it's keeping us safe from pretty much all the missiles. Never mind, they are completely worthless against us. Beautiful. Keep going for the core. In fact, now we're close enough. Just go straight for the gun. I may have been doing that earlier by mistake, now think about it, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's not exactly against the rules. Looks like it only really has the one main gun. It's well protected, but lasers are pinpoints after all. Okay, I'm going to stop still now. And there it goes. Okay, that's pretty much the first battle over with then, I guess. Oh, it has missiles of its own. You know what? We're going to move away then. Yeah, not stopping all those, is it? Where are those green lasers coming from? They are the targeting. If I can take out those, it can't aim us anymore. It's hard to see. You know what? Auto fire now. We're close enough the water isn't really a massive problem. It's just at long distances like that, the angle can be annoying, and then you go through meters and meters of water and do absolutely nothing. There we are, the AI has been changed. It will now try and target blocks above the water. And, oh, I think I may have messed up the missiles. I'm not seeing them heading towards us of these little clusters. And small clusters like that, my munition defense can deal with. Maybe I was completely wrong, but why did they end up in the water? Okay, they're not particularly powerful. That's not even getting through the outer layers of armor. That's fine. Just keep on burning the target. Eventually we'll hit something vital and or the actual missile systems themselves. Oh, there's one more targeter. Look at that. That's why occasionally it looks like they weren't targeting us. It's there at the back, so it doesn't have a good shot. I'm sorry, I've got to manually aim there. That is so irritating. There we go. And we are meant to be showcasing the strength of the lasers, and this is the strength of the lasers. Just wait until we have smoke enemies, and suddenly all my damage vanishes. Upon review of that last fight, it turns out the things which are hitting us were torpedoes, not missiles which suddenly hit the water. Yeah, they had both of them. Thankfully, didn't last much longer then, so on to the next fight as we slowly refuel everything. I just took a quick lunch break, came back, kind of forgot I loaded the game, and almost died because, yeah, I forgot I loaded the game. Thankfully, the AI's kicked in and it's fighting for me, so we're currently fighting against a pandemonium, which I think really wants to melee us, so I probably can't get away from it too fast. What I can do is try and go to the side, and let's see if we can kind of sidestep it. Okay, so it has a particle cannon, which didn't seem to do too much. We've already done 350,000 damage, and there goes one of its turrets. Not all that much fire damage. Maybe I should start manually controlling. You know what? No, let's trust in the AI. Oh, that particle cannon should not have fired upwards then, so clearly something's gone wrong. Almost clipped us, but not quite. I'm guessing its controls are messed up. That's why I was going to the side anyway, so that would hopefully happen. Come on. It's gonna hurt. Yep. Just don't destroy the turret as long as the turret remains. Just manual firing now, trying to get into the core. Well, we actually won that, but that was annoyingly close. Yeah, all that material is going to be used on repairs. Oop, and we have our controls going a little bit weird there. And apparently the AI immediately, almost took out that turret. I wonder which block it was even after for it to stop so early. Okay, either way, let's get moving. That is so far away. Yeah, laser damage is reduced by distance, but that's still decent. Though actually, that damage is a little bit lower than I'm expecting. I wonder if it's going for the turret again now. I'm really hoping it is. If we can stay at this range, though, if that thing has any torps or missiles, it's not really going to be able to use them against us. So we could just take the lower damage, avoid the... We're actually taking out the gram cannons, never mind. And I added a new engine. Apparently, I've added it into a wall or something. That shouldn't have popped up. I keep doing that lately. Whenever I try and expand a engine, I always end up putting it into a wall. I don't know why I suddenly have this specific problem, but I do. Oop, let's slow down. Okay, we definitely need to make our anti-munition lasers stronger, but at the moment I think I just want to focus on more actual main weapon damage, to be completely honest. Still working against this. This must be such an annoying fight for the Guernsey, because that is just countering it, despite the fact we're doing very little damage. Maybe just take over manual control and start taking out those turrets. That would probably be best. There. Right? Let's try that again. There. Sure, something's going into the air, but that's fine. Probably don't really need to move at this point, but we'll start to turn away. Just start running. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last upgrade where we're still a ship and not a hovercraft. I really want that extreme stability. It'll cost more engine power to do, but I think we're about there now. Okay, so that front turret's just gone. I was just firing at nothing, apparently. Where are those two side guns? I can't really see them. I think I'm hitting them anyway, but I don't actually see... Oh, okay. I see why they're difficult to see at a distance. Every fight is so much longer with lasers than any of the other challenge runs. Yep, it had torps. If we have a passive sonar, can we make our munition defense fire at those? I actually don't know. Something to find out for the future. For now, though, let's just back off. Clearly, they weren't in range of the torps at the start of the fight, so let's just keep backing off. We'll take the less damage so we don't take any more hits. I think I've taken out all their turrets, and in fact the AI helped with that near the end. So it's just a matter of slowly melting through everything, like always. Yeah, we got hit by a cram cannon near the end, and those torps have actually really shredded some vitals. Look, lasers. Let's go to that resource zone. It shouldn't be too expensive to repair all that, but we do obviously need to repair that. So, resource zone, full repair, then decide if we're going to make a hovercraft or not. Rather than trying to figure out if we can use our lasers to fire at the enemy torps, I know we could fire torps at their torps, which would be super easy. I think it would be better if we just avoided them altogether. Into the air we go. Then suddenly we can fly, and I'm not entirely happy with the design anymore. So I'm not happy with how these sections come down so much, so what I'm going to do later on is probably expand the hull a little bit further down, bring it forwards, then this will be kind of a cap section like it was earlier on. Though I'm not entirely unhappy with it, it just isn't as clean as it used to be, so I'm not super enthralled by it, but I don't really have the resources to do anything about that right now. The back section's going to be expanded as well, so it's less of a cutoff, and it becomes a little bit more equal on both sections, both forwards and backwards. I'm thinking of taking a lot of inspiration from the Lightning Hood's crafts, for instance. Other than that, there's not all that much changed. I'm not quite done yet. I have the jets on the bottom, which are exposed. We have these sections here, which have pretty much no armor or anything, because again, I'm running out of resources, and just has a tiny laser section. It's mostly there as an air gap more than anything else, and that's pretty much all I changed. So, a bit more engine power, a little bit more laser power, and we can now move a lot quicker. So let's go towards that red portal, and let's go to difficulty 50. How fast can this actually go? Although I built it mostly in the sandbox mode, I've been tweaking it in the regular game now for like the last 15 minutes. We're still nowhere near done. Okay, above 50 meters per second, that's absolutely fine. Can we hit 60? We can. Brilliant, that's more than fast enough. How about the stability? Okay, inaccuracy from the stability, only plus 0.01. That is so much better than when we were moving in the ocean. My stamina has been so bad today. Oh, wait. Don't go through the red portal just yet. Going out of control. What did we do to it then, that short time we attacked it? Oh my god, we knocked out the engine. Look at that. Okay, we mostly deflected the last few missiles, so... Oh, I went through the portal. Never mind. Oh, actually, that makes me think. I don't think I've re-added the munition warners and I changed up this front section. Oh, lightning hoods. I was just building, and then in fact I was just removing some stuff. You may notice my resource just jumped up, because I just took out a whole section of RTGs. Great, just before a fight. I should add smoke defense. Didn't even consider that. And yes, you can add smoke defense on your own lasercraft, because you can change the range of the smoke, so just don't get it on your turret cap, that's all. It's a yacht. Okay, not the scariest difficulty 50 first enemy, so I'm happy with that at least. And their laser doesn't really seem to be doing that much at this range, so sure. Has missiles, you know what, we'll stay at long range. We're causing fire and explosions, which means we're getting through to the core. Oh, yep, we definitely are. Can I just hit their turret cap? It's right there. If we just get a couple of hits on that, there we go. Ooh, what are you aiming at now? What are you aiming at now? Zoom out faster, please. New enemy on the horizon. First enemy isn't particularly scary, so the second enemy is... It's Steel Strider. It's got a Whittle baby. Okay, target the Whittle baby now. So much happier now, my Hovercraft. I'm guessing it's healing it. But at the same time, that's stopping it from being deployed, so it could just keep firing. Ah.
Engaging now.
You know what? Manual fire again. Let's go for the turret cap. Really don't want this fight to drag, since I'm not getting any RTG replenishment of our batteries, so everything's more expensive. Oh, missiles are your main thing. You know what then? Let's do a sharpish turn. Stop some of the missiles. Okay, stopped a lot of them and damaged a lot more. That's good, actually. Well done, that tiny munition system we have. Oh my god, it has a particle cannon. No one told me about the particle cannon. Where even is that? Oh, it's there, look. Right? That's gotta be it, yeah? The thing with particle cannons is they're very, very fragile. As soon as you take out one block, suddenly they're not operational, so I think that's probably it. Ow! Also, I hear a lot of fire. Ah, hit my fuel store, that's why. Yeah, that cost a lot of resources, that shot. Don't go into the red portal, please. I'm not ready for 55 just yet. We actually lost resources against the Steel Strider's craft. That one particle cannon hit just caused so much damage to us. It just hit the perfect spot, really. Just caused loads of internal fires, and that was a lot to repair. They're almost down. Just a couple of missile systems left, and I'm just letting the AI deal with it. Huh. We made it fly. We really made it fly. We have the Hobgoblin. Oh, that initial burst is so beautiful. It is just a lovely thing to see. I'm going to start moving, though, because it's about to lob a lot of cram cannons at us. I've just improved our munition defense a little bit. Though we might not need it. The amount of damage I've already dealt. There's the initial cram shells. A couple of them got destroyed straight away. Yeah, this is a hard counter. I don't actually think it has smoke defense. If it does, and that is smoke defense, it's not enough. Even at this range, we are melting through that. Should I take manual control for the core, or just keep moving? I think just keep manually moving instead is probably the best bet. Okay, gonna just do a sharp turn. There we go. I think that is smoke defense. Our damage has gone a lot lower now the burst has gone. I am trying my best to do less bursty stuff anyway. Most of it is more continuous. Oh, we're out of engine power. That's why. Okay, we need better engines. Next time, engine upgrades. Okay, so clearly what I need is more engine power. Oh, I didn't re-add the RTGs. The battery level must have been really low as well. But okay, clearly when the munition defense is working, the main weapon is working, and I'm moving at full speed, that is just too much draw from our engines. We are kind of out of space though, so I think take this resource zone, sit here, maybe get into one more fight, and then expand the hull again so we can add a new engine, because yeah, we just need more. The damage is pretty good though. Lathrix. I'm going to stop making my laser more bursty. Also, Lathrix spent 30,000 on more storage pieces so that this happens as soon as an enemy spawns in. I agree with that face. Your wing is almost gone. What even is this one? This is the assertiveness. Oh, what a horrible... You know what? No, I've got a manual fire. That's just so close to taking off the entire wing. Ah, but now you see the actual damage of the laser, which is significantly less. The sustained damage is not the best, but that burst is just happiness. Okay, back in the sandbox mode so I can do some copy and pasting. I've decided to extend the back by essentially copying these two side sections, but I want to keep the front section here deeper than the back, so it has this kind of weird shape to it, which I think looks honestly quite nice. I'm leaving it like that. A lot of the functional components in the center. I'm going to be adding a second turret very soon. I was thinking broadside or not. I think for once, the craft's going to be ignoring broadside altogether. So the next weapon needs to be at least this high in regards to the barrels. So I can probably put it down already. So if we put it like here, then we can raise up this armor. So if we do want any more space for laser components or anything else, it would be easy enough to armor up this cavity. I've got to be honest, this is probably one of the least armored craft I've built in any of the adventure modes. It's a complete glass cannon. I just think as soon as smoke defense is more common, we're going to need that pure damage to break through, so all I've been doing is engines, and more laser systems. The design isn't finished yet, but I just wanted to see what it's like in the actual game, since, well, I'm kind of running out of resources, so we have this nice hollow block here at the moment, which we can do for pretty much anything. And weirdly enough, we have internal jets. These have enough space behind them, these can work absolutely fine, so we might not see the jets in the future. But as soon as I spawned and as soon as I started actually building the thing, we got attacked by the adorable jellyfish enemy. So this thing has a rotating particle cannon, which is actually quite hard to destroy, and it has all its brains in the top of it, all of its engines and everything else. So hopefully the AI decides lobotomy. In fact, I'm seeing lasers go all the way through the target. Don't go after the tentacles. Okay, you know what? Manual control, lobotomy activated. Let's see what happens. We're seeing a lot of blocks fall off, including heavy armor, so it's good to know that even though we're not doing full damage versus heavy armor, we can still take it out. I'm imagining we must have taken out some batteries by now, so that particle cannon probably isn't at full strength. Okay, let's stop firing for a second. Turn off. We're still on 100% health, yeah, so I'm imagining that particle cannon has been pretty much turned off. Jet damage, laser system damage. I'm not actually seeing the batteries holding the energy. Ooh, steam engine almost destroyed. Okay. Continue where you were before. You know, I haven't seen that much damage from a laser in any of my designs before, so it is very pleasant to watch. Even the spaceship didn't have a laser that strong in the end. And we are nowhere near done. There it goes. Lobotomy achieved. Okay, so yeah, we look like this at the moment, which is obviously not done. There's absolutely nothing in this cavity yet. All of this will eventually be engines and laser systems. Essentially, eventually, we'll have double what we have currently. You see, this is why I don't build in the regular game, because we end up getting too much resource. Is that smoke defense? It might be. Just changing up the camera so I can see what's going on. It's hard to tell either way. We're kind of just, well, it's leaving a lot of itself behind.
Engaging now.
Your child is gone. Let's take out that particle cannon, shall we? I think it knocked out one of my turrets, which is rude. Oh no, it didn't. It was just in a blind spot. That's fine. Good night. Okay, so we have all this empty space still here at the back, and we're almost completed. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be much bigger than this in the end, because we can almost double everything. We have all these empty spaces still, which can be armor, which can be more systems. We can continue to be the glass cannon we were originally. Even these sections on the side are completely hollow, so they can be munition defense or anything else. We're probably looking at what's close to the final product. The only thing I'm likely going to do is extend this section down if we run out of space, or maybe raise this bit of superstructure there, but that's pretty much it. Everything's looking normal and, yeah, a very Lathrixian design. Larry, what do you think we should have in here? Larry, look at me when I'm talking to you. Thank you. So what do you think? Yeah. Glass cannon, more laser systems. Good point, Larry. Okay, we are going super glass cannon. I mean, some sections of the new area only have one layer of armor. It is actually kind of ridiculous because I run out of resources. I will armor them more later. But at the moment, if we get hit in the butt, the entire craft will probably detonate. So, definitely focused on disabling enemies' weapons as soon as possible. Let's grab this resource, then we're going through the red portal as soon as possible. We do need to go, I'd say at least 2 portals up in difficulty. We ended up with more resource than I really wanted to. We currently cost about 530k, which is a lot. Looking more normal by the second. Glory to Slanesh, the Prince of Excess. And shiny lasers, normally. First enemy of difficulty 60 is the Aero Tyrant. Oh, we took off the wing straight away. Yeah, not the scariest thing in difficulty 60, though I often see them together. Okay, stop wasting energy, it's already dead. Normally I'd say this earlier in the video about something I realised later on, but I'm not going to do that this time, so people who love the new laser systems and all the different numbers can just be angry at me up until this point. It turns out continuous lasers, which I've been using this entire time, already have an intensity of 60, which means they do full damage versus heavy armor. Despite the fact I have multiple times throughout this video claimed it was 40. So yeah, I can't read. Oh, what happened? I was literally just grabbing a drink. I hear my lasers go off for a second, then I see 2 low in the distance. What? What? Oh, I eyed it. It was facing away and my burst took out the AI which was in its butt. Okay, that was a very unfortunate difficulty 65. I didn't even see that. Okay, thankfully very far away there for their initial attack, but that was a lot of particle cannon shots. We have, covered in smoke, the Judgment, which is just a tiny, tiny little bit cheaper than us by like 10,000, so that's great. Mostly equal fight them. Okay, some lag happened the second I started firing, so either that burst broke something or it was a new enemy. I think... Nope, it was a new enemy. Great. What's scarier? This Twin Guard or the Judgment? So the Judgment's main weapon is particle cannons. If we just range that, we can beat that. This thing looks like it's going to be using advanced cannons, so I'm going to be swapping targets for the base of the Amusement, which is significantly more expensive as well. Okay. Oh, by the way, I found which cylinder is overheating, and yeah, it is literally because I accidentally built it partially into a wall. I will fix that, I just keep forgetting to. Thankfully, it's not really doing too much to the craft, it's more just annoying that we get that pop-up every time. That is a massive missile. Although I have improved the munition defense, I'm not sure if that would have actually been defended against. Thankfully, it got out of range. I will double check all those connection pieces and make sure they're better protected. They do have heavy armor around them, clearly not enough. And then just some bad luck, I suppose. Since there are backup ones as well, and they must have also got taken out. Yep, I can see nothing but the void. One jet's down. I mean, surely I'm burning the core there. I still think we're fighting the right target. Yes, the particle cannons are bad, but unless they get really lucky again, they're not really doing that much. That set of advanced cannons and large missile is actually just scary to me. There we go, low health, perfect. Can't believe we managed to bring it to low health rather than knocking it into the water. That is unbelievably unlucky. Yeah, look at that. That was from the advanced cannons. Still firing even though it's in the water, but it's too low, so in a second it'll self-destruct. Okay, damage is stacking up. Here's hoping we're hitting a turret cap. It looked like we did then. I think it just vanished. Ooh, I just moved really weirdly then. I think one of my jets just got hit. Okay, so how are we looking? We're looking alright, to be completely honest. Both the weapons are still online. Unless they get unlucky again, they're going to stay online. This thing is partially sinking. The outer armor has been melted. Both turret caps are looking incredibly vulnerable. Cool. If it just focuses on them for a second, their weapons are gone, not coming back. I'm very happy about the defense around the turret caps, though. I've got armor on the turret cap itself, inside the craft, and then heavy armor after a bit of space armor. So, it's, again, very few points of this craft actually have decent armor. That's one of them, but clearly need to work on other parts. It appears to be upside down. Which is interesting. I really do need to look up properly. If you go close to a red portal, does it increase the odds of an enemy? Because as I was approaching them, I just thought to myself, I bet something's going to spawn. And yep, straight away something did. It's facing the wrong way. I haven't seen you in a long time as well. The Onyx Watch Flyer, the original one. A lack of accuracy at this range is shocking, but still. Look at that. That confetti. Yep, no smoke protection here at all. We're just carving through it. We should move, though, because it did just fire loads of cram shells. Yep, there they are. And I was just sitting there, waiting. Well, I say the accuracy is bad, but look at the range. Almost 1 million damage done already. There we go, 1 million damage, not including the fire damage. Let's have a quick look, see how are things looking on our Onyx Watch friends' behalf. Lots of confetti. See, the problem is it's twisted around. It would have been much better if it was actually facing us straight away. We didn't quite destroy too much. I mean, we've damaged some engines and some laser systems, but not really anything too important. Either it should have stood facing the wrong way for a little bit longer, or instantly faced us, because now we've just damaged everywhere equally around it, and that burst has been kind of wasted. Try and get a little bit closer just so we're doing more damage. At 4,000 meters, we are doing 80% damage, which is still obviously very, very good, but I would like that extra 20% if possible. So many blocks being destroyed. Yeah, manual fire is so much better for lasers. Just the fact it keeps swapping so often. If I was just manually firing, I would have gone through the target by now, most likely. Okay, an explosion then, so we've hit some kind of vital. Also, they're turning around, and I just got some lag, so something else has spawned in. A new flyer has emerged, and it is the Hunchback, I want to say, or the Kobold? The Hunchback? The Hunchback.
Engaging now.
Okay, we're swapping targets. And we are going to turn around and try and get either behind it or to the side of it. The Hunchback has loads of armor on the front. I don't know about the side and the back. Hopefully it focuses on the big block of metal that is the Onyx Watch. Oh, which is already going down. Kinda wish we hurt it a little bit less now. Gonna manually fire this time, so I really want to take out that gun. Huge amount of lag. I think that was the Onyx Watch starting to self-destruct. Okay, we've stopped all of its missiles, so that's good at least. I'm hoping we've done enough damage to take out that gun. That's definitely smoke defense, though. The damage is so much less. Lovely. Gun gone. Does have a second gun, though, and those guns are nasty on the Hunchback. I think. You see, in my head, I think I'm mixing up the Kobold and the Hunchback a little bit, but I think I know what I'm talking about here. It also looks like it's having a real tough time facing us. Or perhaps the weapons have just been offlined on both sides. Ooh, we have done some damage. Yeah, the front of the Hunchback there. Look at all that heavy armor. And even though it turns out that continuous lasers do full damage versus heavy armor, it's still not something I really want to do. Okay, it's too close to us. We can't fire the main weapon. I might just go for the portal here. I think I've offlined its weapons, though, so it can't hurt us. We can't hurt it. Everyone's happy. Let's go to the next portal. Although there is another target right now. What are you? Steel Strider.
Engaging now.
It's the Braveheart. We'll just fire while we're on the way to the red portal. I'll go for that one so we have some, well, a small chance we'll actually destroy it. Yeah, the Hunchback's been completely nullified, basically. The second we got to difficulty 70, the Warlord appeared. This is not ideal. What's the Warlord like in terms of defense? I remember it used to be an absolute menace when I used to play the campaign a very long time ago. Don't know where to fire with this thing. These are particle cannons, right? Then it has missiles all over it, and by the looks of things, some advanced cannons as well. Okay, we're taking out the large missiles, so that's good at least. Wasn't a great shot there by its particle cannon, so that's nice. You know what? I'm going to manual fire. I'm going to go straight for that core. Let's see if we can take out those particle cannons. A single tube destroyed, and then suddenly the particle cannons don't work anymore. Doesn't take much to get them misfiring and hurting their own craft. I think I'm hitting the right place. I wish I could lock on to their blocks right now, but I can't while I'm still also pressing fire. You know what, sure, just auto-fire, fire everywhere. It's got so much armor on that front section. Oh, that's a lot of little shots. Almost 1 million damage dealt already. So a quick look-see then. So, yeah, that front... I can't imagine those are working completely correctly now. Yeah, definitely not. Top section ones are looking pretty good still, except for the one on the right. The lasers are actually hitting exactly where I want them to, so yeah, just keep firing there. Keep doing your own thing, AI. I have complete faith in you. I have less faith in you. You're now going for really random spots. Back to manual control. Yeah, the smoke defense is really lessening how much damage we can actually do. Also, huge lag there. Ah, that's so annoying. I think we'd won that. The particle cannons had already been really badly damaged, and its side weapons aren't anywhere near as scary. But of course, the second target has arrived. I wish there was a setting to lower the chance of this happening, because I never find it that fun. I'm just going to move directly forwards now. The Warlord is not looking great. And luckily for it, my AI really hates the new target. I've decided to back away, reserve energy, allow my lasers to completely get back to full battery, and then we'll start fighting once one of them goes down. Though by the looks of things... Are they going down at the same time? No, just I think this thing tries to match height with its target. There we go, there's our burst. Destroyed something in the core there. Could go for the jets. If we can stop it from being able to turn around, that would be an absolute nuisance for it. We're about to run out of resources. I'm going to have to cannibalize some RTGs or something. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now while it's still distracted. Oh, while I was cannibalizing and this thing fell into the water. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the jets I destroyed. Oh, I've been working on engines. Okay. Kind of an annoying fight. Again, I really do hate these duo fights, but sure. We won. That's the important thing. I think I would have had a chance against either of them. I don't really know for certain, but there we are. There's going to be a lot of resource we get. We kind of need a hull upgrade then at this point to get more space. I need to fix that engine. I need to add more engines. And I'm not entirely sure how I want to expand the craft. I kind of like how it looks currently. I'm tempted. Very tempted to add kind of... Okay, I know I always do this, but hear me out. It just works well in this kind of phase of the game. Tempted to add an extra section on both sides here. It'll act as a nice chunk of armor from the side. It'll also be very, very easy to fill with vital components. Still sticking with the glass cannon thing. Okay, so I want to keep everything on theme. So the front's going to be like this, and again, this can hold either point defense or engines or anything. There's plenty of space here and also enough space to armor up. Then at the back, I want to do something similar, but I want it to kind of angle up if possible. So it kind of ends here instead. Keep it a bit more interesting, not just copy and paste this front section to the back as well. And I think, honestly, that's probably going to be the last hull upgrade we do, because after this, it's going to be hundreds of thousands of resource to completely fill these with lasers, engines, everything else. I also need to finally add that extra turret, which can aim directly up. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it's going to have to go somewhere. Well, we could have multiple of them, I guess, just attach them to the main system and then attach them to a different key. I think that makes sense. Or I'm just talking utter gobbledygook, one of the two. I mean, they're a bit clunky, but that'll do. So we finally have little side turrets, which can actually aim directly up, which is nice. I do like the actual armor I've added. So the actual hull upgrade I really like. I am running out of resource now, though, so I can't add the back section as well. The back section, then, will definitely be the last hull upgrade we do. We're now on, like, 650k. With the back section and everything inside of that, we're likely to get very close to a mill. We still have some empty spaces in the main hull as well, so only small changes after the back section, since that's going to be a bit bigger as well than this section I've added. Overall happy with it, except for these turrets, which I think look a little bit clunky. They will go on the back section eventually, so I will be moving them. They're just kind of here because I kind of need them here. That's what I should have done. Use glass like that. Look how nice that looks. Anyway, difficulty 75. We have a Scarlet Dawn craft. Other way around, please. Okay, blue's firing. Why is it trying to get so close? I mean, it's fine by me. That's a lot of damage I can just pump straight into its face. Oh. Yeah, that was it. I could fire down if I wanted to right now with these, but I'm not going to because it's already too low. It's shooting through water. Why did it try and get so close? Oh, were those short-range lasers? Ah, maybe its damage would have been absolutely monumental. It just didn't survive that initial blast to the face. That is some serious lag. Stronghold. You know what? No. But is it the Stronghold or is it one of the sharks? Okay, yeah, we're not fighting the Stronghold. Nope, nope, nope. AI off. Thank you very much. We're going for the red portal. Here's the thing. I think we could very comfortably beat the Stronghold if we had a few 100,000 resources to burn. The Stronghold is just a huge block of armor. I think it's like 1.5 million resources, and that's all it is. We're currently in difficulty 80. Apparently we're going to skip this difficulty because no, I am not fighting this thing. I wanted to go to that resource zone. There was absolutely nothing for so long and then everything all at once. Seriously, I've been in 85 for a good 10 minutes at this point. Ooh. You have missiles, innit? Okay, we're going to stay nice and far away again. The cowardly stay far away tactic works a lot when the enemies have missiles, so we're going to just continue to go with that. Okay, definitely a smoke defense, but already hitting 400k, so that's good. Losing a bit because those shells are exploding inside the craft, but I think we're doing better than they are. Do I want to manual fire all to take out that turret? That's the question. I mean, this is a very expensive enemy, so I wouldn't feel too bad about doing that. It wouldn't be the worst thing. You know what? Yeah. Take out that turret cap if possible. Maybe I'm a little bit lower, like there. I'll still hit turret cap, but also actually hit the craft when it's not hitting that directly. Okay, I've taken out one of the missile systems there. The turret is now getting hit. One of them is gone out of the two firing pieces. I think that's both of them. Okay, done. I was so peacefully building then, trying to figure out how I'm going to do that back section. 500,000 damage already? Well, must hit... Yeah, I was about to say, must hit something vital. Oh no, this is the Thresher Shark, and our burst just destroyed its gun. Yeah, that's pretty much all the Thresher Shark is. It's one huge railgun, and that explains how much damage we dealt, because this is just so vulnerable. It spawned just facing the wrong way as well. The front has a lot more armor than sides, and yeah, that just... Thresh Shark spawned, Thresh Shark got deleted. Going to difficulty 90 now. I'm going to be rushing to difficulty 100 to be completely honest. We now cost 950,000 after those last few fights. I've built up this whole area. It's actually got some armor now, but also loads and loads more engines and, of course, laser systems. And because I just can't help myself, yes, I added quite a lot of burst stuff. Inside there are a load of, if I can actually find the laser systems, the single input cavities and the storage cavities. This way we don't need all that much engine power for them, but it will make our initial burst even nastier. As you saw with the Thresher Shark, sometimes that's all it takes. Okay, difficulty 90. Let's just look for a red or blue portal as soon as possible. The Blackcurrant. This is why I like burst damage so much. 500,000 damage before this thing can actually properly get below the waves. Because once it's below the waves, we're pretty much done for in terms of damage. And once again, my camera decided to go somewhere else. We won't even be able to see it in a second. We'll have a little bit of a grace period, but that's it. So I'll have to manually fire the smaller cannons. As you can see, it's already less accurate, so let's stop. Swap over to these. And we're already doing pretty much no damage. Okay, that's not great. Hopefully, we hit something vital. Hit an engine, or a bit of AI, or a missile controller, or something. Ooh, red portal. Okay. We might be alright. I just want to go for that red portal then. We won't really get the kill here, because it's a sub, and there's very little I can do. Normally I build a little bit to try and counter subs, but since we're using lasers, I've just completely ignored it. We've definitely done something. It's not firing. I wonder what we've done. Missile system there, a bit of that. It doesn't look like we've really hit anything, but that should be firing. I'm certain of it. Well, if it's gonna just try and get away peacefully, I will accept these terms. Oh, maybe it can't see us yet until that radar gets above the water. I think we've got away with it. Oh, I was really hoping we'd get through difficulty 95 without a fight. Haven't seen a red portal in like 15 minutes. To be fair, I also haven't seen an enemy in 15 minutes. Oh my god, that's expensive. Okay, we have to manually fire versus this. It'd be silly to just allow the AI to do its thing. Make sure I'm not locked on. Good. Actually take a screenshot and slow down time, because I have those two bound together at the moment, because I was testing out some stuff earlier. One turret down. Okay, doesn't seem to have much smoke defense, if at all, which is good for me. Come on. Let's knock out the others as well, please. Okay, one more gone. And will we be able to get through this? The burst damage is gone now, so now it's just the standardized damage. Pause. Okay, all the weapons have been knocked off very, very easily there, which is great. Okay, particle cannon there. Damaged? Not yet, but will be in a second. Okay. I'm now realizing I think the red lasers I have may still be using the bonus fire damage stuff at the cost of reduced actual damage. And considering these higher end stuff don't really burn all that much, silly. But I think that's it. Cool. We're out of material, but the enemy's out of weapons, so we'll just melt them using the RTG power, and then we should... Oh, it has missiles. Okay, where are those being fired from? If I were a missile launcher, where would I be? I haven't got the foggiest. They're anti-missiles. Where are your missiles? Aha, there they are. Cool. They don't seem to be too scary anyway, so yeah, I'm still very confident we've won this. Well, it's taking a while, but yeah, it's a win. It had some torp systems as well, which thankfully the red laser just happened to go for, so I haven't actually had to do anything, I've just been watching. Turns out, that much energy in our batteries still makes a pretty nasty laser, so yay for RTG backups. This is why you need more resources and storage. 50,000 for something which consumes this much resource when it's firing is not enough. That's the only reason we went down. It wasn't because we took damage, it's because we just ran out of resource. We need to hold more. So I'm not going to difficulty 100 until I have at least 100,000 in storage. Just need to heal some wounds and then we're back off. Really shows manual control, lasers good. How many times have I said that in the last, like, 8 days of recording? Dunno, probably far too many. 3 resource zones nice and close by. Okay, I'm gonna harvest these, and as long as we're not interrupted, we're gonna go through the next red portal we see, which I think there's one off to the left. That should give us like 150, 160,000 resources after the repairs. More than enough for one glorious fight in difficulty 100. Well, here we are, difficulty 100. We have 101,000 resources. It's actually a little bit less than I originally thought from the... Okay. Well, here it goes then. I was about to say from the resource zone, the repairs were quite expensive. This is not the enemy I wanted to see. My god. This thing. This thing with all of its things rotating around the main thing.
Engaging now.
Yeah, just focus on the main body. If we can take that out, the whole thing falls into the water, but I am not happy with that. Is there a red portal nearby? Nope, I have to go past it to get to it. Well, let's start moving anyway. Low health, low materials. I must have knocked out one of the small ones. There's no way that's the main body, even with that burst. Oh! Never mind. It turns out, it facing the wrong way, it's allowed us to cut through all of this and into here. And, yeah, that's a lot of fires. I will never listen to people tell me not to go with burst damage for lasers ever again. Technically speaking, we've now... Oh, no, another enemy straight away. Terrible timing. Because now my lasers aren't going to be ready, and they're both Scarlet Dawn, which means there's absolutely no chance they're going to be fighting each other. If we do lose here, I am going to the Sandbox mode and fighting something else. That's
Engaging now.
a singularity. Great. Singularities are horrible if you can't just instantly obliterate them, which I won't be able to because I have no burst anymore. Maybe I should have listened to people say about the burst. Is it still facing the wrong way? I've got a little while then. Come on, just get through. If we can get to its engines... You know what? Let's accidentally take another screenshot. Did it earlier as well. All weapons, go right there. Just smack the side of that thing, even with the smoke defense. If you can get in there and take out its ring shields or its engines... No, too late. You know, if we had burst damage, that could have been a win there. Oh, it so easily could have been a win. Look, the particle cannons are right there, and they just melt. Genuinely a few more seconds then, that would have been a victory. As it stands though, now we're going to have to fight toe to toe, and we're not ready. And we have full resources at least. Oh, good. That's what I wanted to see, me bucking, so something exploded then, most likely. We are doing damage, the problem is the front of the singularities is a big block of armor. In the particle cannon run, I managed to just go straight through a singularity with the first shot, but that's because particle cannons are good at that kind of stuff. Lasers aren't. Yeah, we're gone. We are actually gone, what a shame. Let's see how we did. Lots of scarring, lots of single blocks destroyed, a few things exposed, but... If we had that burst. What a horrible couple of spawns. You know what, I would love to fight the Singularity one-on-one in a more fair match. The Singularity costs double what we cost. I really don't think we're going to win with lasers, but still, we absolutely obliterated an enemy which I find absolutely terrifying, but it spawned in the wrong direction. This isn't satisfying enough. This is where we go down, difficulty 100, I class this as a victory. We're going to the designer mode, and we're going to fight a couple of other godlies. You know, considering it costs less than $1 million, really happy with this design. It was super fun to use, the lasers were decent. And despite being quite light armored, I think I positioned things well enough that we didn't really get fully crippled at any point, which was great. I'm putting you down as something I'm proud of. It was an honor serving with you. The lasers cauterizing the wounds, but the blood god may starve. In the sandbox mode, that's what the burst would have looked like. Of course, I would have been manually firing. I know where I would have been firing, which would have been there, which was where the particle cannon hit in the first place. I'm not giving resource to the craft, so it does have limited resource like it would in the adventure mode. It's definitely getting through, even with the smoke defense, but its time is very, very limited. Really is just a matter of can it make that hole wide enough to damage the vitals inside before the singularities of multitude of weapons just tear its systems apart. I'm going to pause for 1 second, let's see what's actually happened. So the burst has broke all the way through there. Okay, the vulnerables are exposed, at least in the form of the advanced cannon. I'm now thinking it was actually about here where I should have shot. Yes, I'm a little bit off, but oh well. Let's keep going. Okay, we're out of the air, which means either our engines or our jets are gone. Looks like it's the jets. Our engines are still at 137,000. One turret cap is badly damaged. The armor, yeah, the armor is completely crumpled now on this side. Still surprisingly sturdy, considering it is just mostly one layer of armor just in multiple positions. And there we go, the ring engine just got destroyed, which causes a massive internal explosion. So, it's hard to say, really. I think if the Singularity got luckier with its hits, it would have won there. This was kind of perfect for us, but it does mean we had the potential. At 666,000 laser damage, and us looking like we could take maybe one more hit. The Singularity is currently bleeding from the inside. You can see the blocks being destroyed. It really is that ring shield. It just detonates when it's destroyed. If we only relied on the AI, we would have lost. Simple as that. We wouldn't have focused on that one spot. There's no chance the Singularity wouldn't have won. Manual firing, even with the smoke defense, at this strength, we would have cut through and destroyed it, at least some of the time. At least I can go to bed knowing there was a chance. I'm really happy with this craft. I think over the next week I'm going to have some spare time, and I'm just going to be building this to make it fully, just fully AI driven, have its movement and everything else, try to stick at 1 million resources, and just make it a proper craft, because I really, really like it. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Once again, I do apologise for the major delay this video took. It's been, honestly, some of the worst months of my life in the last couple of months with just bad thing after bad thing happening, and yeah. It's been difficult, but things are looking significantly better now, and I will be back making videos hopefully completely normally by the end of the month, or at very least in September. Thank you for your patience, it truly means the world to me. And honestly, it's just nice back destroying things again. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, and do take care, and until next time, goodbye. Lasers, better than I remember them being. Yay for the update.